Hello and welcome back to the reading of Beginner's Guide to SriVaishnavam. We are on chapter 11 and this is about Kulasekara Azhwar. Vyasa and Parasara go to Andal Pati and ask her to continue the Azhwar stories. Pati says, Vyasa and Parasara, today I am going to tell you about a king who is an Azhwar. Vyasa, who is that Pati? What is his name? When and where was he born? What are his special qualities? His name was Kulasekara Azhwar. He was born on Masi month, Punarpusa Nakshatram in Thiruvanjikalam, which is located in Kerala. He was born in a Kshatriya family. What does Kshatriya mean, Pati? Kshatriya means administrators generally, like king, emperor, etc. They rule the kingdom, protect the citizens, and so on. Oh, just like our Rangaraja, who rules us and protects us in Srirangam. Yes, our Perumal is the king for everyone, but each region is ruled by a king and these kings are greatly respected by the local people. Coming back to the history, as he was born in Kshatriya family, he was feeling that he was the controller, fully independent and so on. But by the grace of Sriman Narayanan, he became fully realized that he was dependent on Perumal and developed great taste to listening to the glories of Perumal and also taking care of the devotees of Perumal. Parasara asks, Pati, I remember you telling that we should be like Madhurukavi Azhwar in serving devotees of Perumal. Was he like that, Pati? Very nice, Parasara. Yes, Kulasekara Azhwar had great attachment to Sri Ramayanam. See, in our Sampradayam, Sri Rama is lovingly called as Perumal. Due to Kulasekara Azhwar's great attachment towards Sri Ramayanam and Sri Rama, he himself becomes to be called as Kulasekara Perumal. He would listen to Sri Ramayanam every day from great scholars and be immersed in the incidents. Once, when he heard that Sri Rama was attacked by 14,000 Rakshasas, he became disturbed so much and called out for his army to go and assist Sri Rama. The devotees of Perumal would then pacify him and tell him that Sri Rama had already defeated the Rakshasas single-handedly. Vyasa asks, how did he rule the kingdom, Pati if he was fully engaged in hearing about Perumal? Andalpati says, yes, that is a very good question. He was unable to focus on the kingdom. His ministers planned to eliminate his attachment towards Bhagavadas, who are devotees of Perumal. They stole the necklace of Perumal from his temple in the palace and told him that it was stolen by the Bhagavadas. He did not believe the words of the ministers. It was an ancient practice of proving one's words by putting their hand in a pot which had snake in it. One must be very confident about the truth and very brave to do this. He asked them to bring a pot which had a snake inside. He boldly put his hand inside the pot and proclaimed that the Bhagavadas were innocent. That is very nice, Pati. Yes, also, just like Sri Rama had great attachment to Periya Perumal, Sri Ranganatha, Kulasekara Azhwar was also greatly attached to Periya Perumal and Sri Rangam. What is the relationship with Sri Rama and Periya Perumal, Pati? Pati says, Periya Perumal was Thiruvaradhana Perumal of Sri Rama in Ayodhya. Thiruvaradhana Perumal means the Perumal whom we worship at home. So in his palace, Sri Rama worshipped Periya Perumal. But he gave that Perumal as a gift to Vibhishana, who was his dear devotee. When Vibhishana was carrying Periya Perumal to Lanka, he stopped at Srirangam to perform Sandhya Vandanam. After his Sandhya Vandanam, when he wanted to continue his journey to Lanka, Periya Perumal said to Vibhishana that he liked this place so much and just wanted to stay here facing south side where Lanka is. Vibhishana agreed to Periya Perumal and left to Lanka without him. Thus, Periya Perumal arrived at Srirangam and continues to stay here till now. Parasara says, oh, very nice to hear this, Pati. We did not know this connection between Perumal, Sri Rama and Periya Perumal before. Pati says, so Kulasekara Azhwar also had great attachment towards Srirangam and Periya Perumal. He wanted to visit Srirangam every day from his kingdom and would leave from there. But his ministers would stop him by giving him some reasons, one or the other, so that he can continue to rule the kingdom from there. Eventually, he gave up his kingdom and reached Srirangam. He sang Perumal Tirumozhi in glorification of Emperuman and stayed in Srirangam for some time. Finally, he left this world and reached Paramapadam to serve him permanently. Vyasa says, Pati, The more we hear about Arvars, the more we know about Perumal, since their lives are so fully focused on Perumal. Andalpati says, yes, we should also focus our lives towards Perumal and his devotees. Now let us go to Kulasekara Arvar Sannadhi and have his darshan. Sure, Pati, let us go now.
This chapter tells us about the life history of Kulasekara Azhwar, who was a king. He was a staunch devotee of Sri Rama. He was a king who was not attached to his material life. He was not attached to the position, his throne, his wealth. He ruled as it was a duty given by Bhagavan. His mind was only towards Bhagavan. So towards Sri Ranganatha, Sri Rama, Srinivasa. He was involved in Ramayana very much. Whenever Ramayana was told as discourse in his court, his mind used to travel to Ramayana period and used to be involved with Rama's life too much. And Rama appeared in his dream and gave him the title Kulasekara Perumal because he was very much devoted to Sri Rama. And he used to visit Sri Rangam and do service to Bhagavan and Bhagavatas. He was a king known for simplicity and used to love the devotees of Vishnu. Whenever he visited Sri Rangam, he used to bring the devotees of Vishnu to his palace and did service to them, which was not liked by his ministers. So they blamed them for the theft of necklace, but Kulasekara Azhwar proved that they were non-guilty. Then he got detached to all this and he handed over the position to his son. His son was made a king and he left the palace for Srirangam. He stayed in Srirangam for some time and he visited Thiruvenkadam and he did Mangala Sasanam on these Perumals, his Sanskrit slokams known as Mukuntamala. It is about Bhagavan's namas and the glory of Sriman Narayana and its attributes and guna as beads of Mukuntamala. So that's a beautiful Sanskrit. Mukuntamala was composed by Kulasekara Azhwar and he sang 105 pasurams which are together known as Perumal Tirumadi. He wanted to be something in Thiruvenkadam. So he expressed that in one of the pasurams in Perumal Tirumadi. Chediyale Valvinegal Tirkum Tirumale Nediyane Venkadava Nin Kovilin Vasal Adiyarum Vanavarum Arampayarum Kidathiyangum Padiyai Kidanduvun Pavalavai Kanbene. He expressed his devotion. He wanted to be something in the place of Thiruvenkadam because he would be with Srinivasa all the time. That was his love. That was his devotion towards him. So his Mukuntamala in Sanskrit celebrate the greatness of Bhagavan Namas and Thiruvaimozhi on all the Divya Desams like Sri Rangam, Thiruvenkadam and other places. So Kulasekara Azhwar lived his life in a very simple way and after he renounced his possession, he visited the Divya Desams and he spent his life only in doing service to Bhagavan and singing in praise of Bhagavan.